What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where in this one we're going to continue talking about the team as we lead up to training camp. And this time I want to talk about the running backs, right? We talked about the quarterbacks yesterday. If you did not see that video, then after this one's over, go check that one out on the channel. But for this one, again, talking about the running backs and in the running back room, of course, less of a competition. I think we kind of know what it's going to look like going into the season. Of course, the rotation is really the question. And the question is Khalil Herbert going to continue to be the guy, right? Veteran all around player coming in with plenty of experience. Makes sense for him to be the number 2 running back. But DJ Giddens is a guy that it could have, like Jonathan Taylor in his rookie year, wasn't expected to be the guy. He was supposed to be number 2 behind Marlon. Marlon gets hurt in week 1 in Jacksonville, tears his Achilles. Jonathan Taylor thrust it in. Jonathan Taylor up and down, nothing really too crazy, and then he just started. And it started to go. And once he figured it out, it was game time, and now JT is who JT is, right? And I think DJ Giddens, for any team he got drafted by, I think it would be the same trajectory where you get a guy that in his rookie season, he's going to be figuring it out. He's going to have to get the experience of being in the game and learning how fast these holes close, how the defense will set it up to make it look like you're supposed to go here, but really you need to set up here and bounce out. That's where Jonathan Taylor grew, and that's what the one thing Jonathan Taylor is incredible at is setting up the run. So I think DJ Giddens going to have an opportunity to do that with who he's around, being with JT, being with Khalil Herbert. I think his all-around game is going to be incredible. I think it was a great draft pick. I do unfortunately think the writing might be on the wall about Jonathan Taylor finishing out this contract and not coming back, but hopefully Jonathan Taylor stays healthy and is able to finish his career as a Colt. But I think DJ Giddens is going to be really good too, right? So as we sit here and look through it. Like I mentioned, Jonathan Taylor, as we all know, is going to be the anchor, right? He's got the star power. He remains a centerpiece of the Colts rushing attack after a 2024 season where he had 1,431 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns in 14 games. And all in all, 303 carries, 4.7 yards per carry is that what that comes out to. He's obviously considered one of the league's top backs. Was actually ranked 7th. I don't know who did that ranking, but recently, actually, Stampede Blue says that they were ranked 7th in an executive poll. So that's interesting information. Shout out Stampede Blue for that little tidbit there. But all in all, I think 7th is a little ridiculous. There's some really good backs. I know they probably put Bijan Robinson up there, Derrick Henry, Jahmyr Gibbs, right? Interested. I never did look at that. Interested to see who they put above 7th. Seems a little crazy to me. But then last year, interesting enough, he got a career low 57.1 overall grade and was one of the top running backs in the league. I don't really understand that. But shout out to PFF to continuously just not make any sense. Let's see. Taylor locked into a multi-year contract extension and remains entrenched as running back 1 through camp and likely beyond. So, of course, we have Jonathan Taylor. We know what we're going to get from him. What we saw last year was really refreshing because, of course, in 2022 he had the injury. 2023 was up and down, still battling through that ankle. And then last year, of course, it comes back up again, but he still, again, plays in 14 games. Over 1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns. Like Jonathan Taylor looked like Jonathan Taylor last year, especially at the tail end of last year, like when he was really was able to get healthy, and then at the end of the year just started. I mean, throttling teams. Looked like JT. 20. He looked like 2021 JT again at the end of last year. So I expect that coming into this year, more experience. Everything that surrounds Jonathan Taylor. I expect him to come into this year, and I expect it to be the Jonathan Taylor show for a lot of 2025. Then again, when you look at the backups, right? Khalil Herbert, DJ Giddens, and let's not forget Tyler Goodson is on the roster, and how does he factor into all of this? Salvin Ahmad, somebody that we picked up, signed a futures contract, and he offers to be a deep rotational piece, keep him on the practice squad. He has starting experience. He has plenty of playing experience. Played down there with the Dolphins for a little bit. In 2024, I didn't even realize this. Salvin Ahmad had 593 rushing yards last year and 5 rushing touchdowns, and also had 274 receiving yards. Like, I don't know who he played for last year. I don't remember hearing his name much. Would have never guessed those were his stats from 2024, but that's interesting information. As I sit here and look at it, never really looked into him at all. But of course, again, Tyler Goodson, undrafted out of Iowa in 2022. We know what we're going to get from him, right? He's a solid depth piece. But again, it really comes down to Khalil Herbert, DJ Giddens. That's really the competition that we're watching here. Again, I think the expectation is that Khalil Herbert is going to command the running back 2 position early in the season. But this is one of those things when I go to training camp and get my eyes on it firsthand, I'm watching to see what each of these guys are doing. And I'm watching to see how the reps are working out and the work that they're doing in the offense. How does the rotation work within the offense? And what are each of these guys doing? How big of a role can we expect from these guys? I want to get that information, of course, for myself, seeing it firsthand, and I want to be able to give you guys that kind of information. So going to be paying attention to that very closely with Khalil Herbert. If you're not somebody who pays attention to all NFL teams, if you're not a fantasy football player, if you don't really know a whole lot about Khalil Herbert, this is a guy who has experience through multiple different systems, right? Multiple different coaching changes when he was in Chicago, right? Offensive coordinator changes, and then goes to Cincinnati, works with that offense. So plenty of experience in different systems. He comes to us on a 1-year deal. Again, bringing good experience from Chicago and Cincinnati. He's known for solid vision, burst, and his receiving ability out of the backfield. That's key. His, like, as a fantasy football person, I know Khalil Herbert because he's a fantasy football darling for what he does in the pass game, right? When you're playing in PPR, which is points per reception, receivers and running backs and tight ends get points for every reception, right? So including the yards and the touchdowns they get points for. So Khalil Herbert, very valuable in the fantasy football world, and very valuable in real football world. Like, the Bears had David Montgomery, Khalil Herbert. It was a great 1-2 punch, right? He goes to Cincinnati, doesn't really land in a role there, but they drafted Chase Brown. He looked really good for them last year. He ended up being a little bit of a workhorse for them toward the end of the year and was really good. So Khalil Herbert never really found a spot there in Cincinnati in that offense, but coming here again, I think he's definitely going to do that. Expected to serve as traditional running back 2 and third down change of pace duties, while also contributing on passing downs and on special teams, which is great. When you're a backup, you have to be able to have some sort of special team utility. Right, a trade is possible if his role doesn't materialize versus new competition. DJ Giddens is going to be one of the rookies to watch for the Colts going into training camp. He was selected in the 5th round by the Colts in the 2025 draft, and he's a guy that has elite production, elite explosiveness. Coming out of Kansas State, you look at his 3 seasons at Kansas State, 3,087 all-purpose yards, 23 total touchdowns. So putting up plenty of production. A guy, when you look at the film, like, he was drawing comparisons to Marlon Mack. It's like Marlon Mack on crack. Like, 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 he's impressive. He's impressive. He's got to change some of the things in his running style, but even if he doesn't, he's such a big body. He's such a physical runner. He's got that dog in him for real. Like, he's one of those guys, like, you look at him and you can tell this dude's got the dog in him. He's not somebody to take lightly. He's not somebody to mess around with. DJ Giddens is somebody I'm really excited for to see his role really start to materialize on this roster. And coming into camp, Giddens already made an impression early in the camp cycle, in mini camps and whatnot, with standout reps and pass blocking and catching, positioning himself as a legitimate contender for a backup role behind Jonathan Taylor. Now, it was interesting. I've seen some people talk about like he doesn't have good hands, he can't work in the pass game, and I don't really understand what other people are seeing when they say that. Like the things that I saw is like everything you want in like an all around running back. I think he can do a little bit of everything. You want to beef him up a little bit to maybe help in pass protection in the NFL. That's probably something that could happen. But I think he has good all around game. I think he can continue to develop, and I think he'll have, of course, the chance to do that behind Jonathan Taylor and Khalil Herbert both. Tyler Goodson's been here for a few years. He's been through some things, and I think he can really help out. And I think DJ Giddens really completes this running back room. Like I think it was a really good draft pick by Chris Ballard and his staff. We talked about it throughout the offseason. Like the Colts, this is the time you draft a running back. You got to draft for the future. And we talked about, do you get a guy? There were plenty of running backs in the draft, plenty of really good running backs. So do you get one of the guys early and miss on something else you really need? Or do you get one of the guys later? And DJ Giddens was a guy that we had mentioned at one point throughout the offseason about going and getting later in the draft. I think we talked about even 5th or 6th round, going and getting him. And that's exactly what we do. Somebody that again, I think can come in and be really good for that running back position behind Jonathan Taylor, being able to alleviate some of the pressure from Jonathan Taylor, right? Usually it's, by the end of the season, right, Jonathan Taylor's getting more carries because he's the one we can rely on and we need to win games. And of course, your best players need to be on the field when it's time to win anyways, but having Khalil Herbert, DJ Giddens, and Tyler Goodson on the roster to be able to alleviate some of the things that Jonathan Taylor goes through, especially as he continues to get older. He's dealt with the ankle injuries. Like being able to help him in that regard is going to be really good. But at the end of the day, again, when it matters most, and at some point through the game, you got to get Jonathan Taylor in a rhythm. And I think he's going to have a big 2025. Just my assumption. Okay, so that's what we got going into training camp for the running back room. You let me know your thoughts. Who do you think is going to win the running back 2 battle? How do you think it should stack up between the 4 top running backs as we go into training camp and likely into week 1? How do you think it's going to shake out? You let me know your thoughts about this running back room down in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you guys. And of course, if you're enjoying the content, make sure to hit the like button, be subscribed, and have notifications on. We're going to continue talking more about the different rooms on the team as we lead up to training camp next week. So make sure you guys are dropping by. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you guys are in the comment section. Of course, I appreciate you so much for stopping by for another video. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.